What does the DJI Ronin 4D wants to be? A cinecam with a gimbal or a gimbal with a recording function? I mean, the product name Ronin we know already from the DJI gimbal series such as the DJI Ronin S or Ronin 2. And the lens mount and the software is already known from the Inspire 2. So we have here somehow a mixture of a cinema camera, a gimbal and drone, and what came out of it you will learn after the intro, so have fun. Since I was only able to test the Ronin 4D for a few days, this is more a first impression than a detailed review, but many thanks to DJI and Teltec for sending me the Ronin 4D, it was very much fun. The Ronin can shoot full frame 6K up to 48 frames without a crop and 6K 60 frames with a crop in ProRes Photo 2, but only on the DJI Pro SSD. On a CFast card is only 6K 30 frames and on an SSD connected via USB only 4K 60. It has a built-in ND filters with 9 stubs and 14 plus stubs of dynamic range. It comes standard with a DL mount, but that can easily be swapped for M or E mount. The lens selection is limited because of the weight of the lens. However, autofocus, aperture control and Z-axis stabilization still work on non-DJI lenses, can be seen in a list of supported lenses. I will link it for you down below. The Ronin has a total weight of about 5 kg. That's about as heavy as a self-assembled Blackmagic rig on a Ronin RS2. On the body there's a 3.5mm jack plug for microphones, a 3.5mm headphone jack, USB-C data port, a power port and HDMI output. Now let's try to classify the Ronin 4D. For this setup without the wireless connection you have to pay a price about 9,000 euros. So we are in a price segment where you already can buy a red Commodore. So if you want to compare the Ronin 4D with another cinema camera, you will notice the classification is not 100% appropriate. The Commodore, for example, has 16 plus stubs of dynamic range compared to the 14 of the Ronin 4D. You are not limited in lens selection with the Commodore, but you are with the Ronin. The Red can shoot in Red RAW. The Ronin was announced with ProRes RAW, however this feature has now been withdrawn at launch. By the way, did you guys already notice the LED light that I'm using to illuminate the background here? These ones are from Light K21 and I like to use them as a prop light or for lighting my background. These ones are RGB LED video lights with a high CRI value. They are small and compact, and what I really like is that they are magnetic, so they stick onto metal surfaces really easily. So I always have them with me for my setups. So if you want to check them out, I will link them for you down below. The battery of the Ronin 4D is same as on the Inspire drone and the Ronin gimbal, which means at least it's not a completely new battery system, but especially in a professional environment a V-mount would be nice. Sure, the Commodore doesn't have the V-mount connector either, but there are very good adapters for it and we will see the V-mount adapter on the Ronin in the future, I hope. The battery life given by DJI has a maximum of 150 minutes if you do not use the gimbal and the Z-axis. Based on my initial testing, the realistic battery life is about 100 minutes. The Ronin 4D does have advantages over the Commodore: the internal ND filters, maximum frame rate, a much better autofocus, the LiDAR sensor that makes manual focusing a breeze, and of course the built-in gimbal and Z-axis stabilization. But also through software features like Active Track Pro, which DJI has been developing and testing for years in the drone space, the Ronin 4D gets some added value and works very well on the Ronin 4D. And lastly, we come to the main selling point, the integrated gimbal up front. The idea to stabilize only the sensor and the lens is really good and makes the whole system lighter than if you would try to stabilize the whole body as well. But the disadvantage of the whole construction is of course the limited lens selection. But if you stick with DJI's own lenses, the whole system is very good because the 24, 35 and 50mm are all the same size and weight, so you don't have to rebalance the whole gimbal after a lens change. The Ronin 4D combines DJI's best technologies from drone and the camera, and that's what makes it so special. The total package that DJI offers here is unbeatable for special applications such as event support. The setup is comparatively very light and the footage is well stabilized. Thanks to the built-in ND filters, you are also prepared for everything when using it outdoors. The handles can be attached to the side of the body and the angle can be adjusted freely. There are buttons on the handles which you can completely control the Ronin. DJI deserves a lot of praise here because the placement and the individual buttons is very well thought out and they are all easy to reach. I especially like the autofocus wheel on the right handle. It has optimal resistors, so you can easily accurately pull focus with the tip of your thumb. The LiDAR focus assist is really ingenious. I would like to be able to attach this to every camera. It shows you the distance correctly in the display, and when an object is detected, it is highlighted in green again, and manual focusing becomes really a breeze. For 2,650 euros, you can buy the DJI radio set from DJI. The transmitter is simply attached between the body and the battery plate. The USP of DJI's own radio kit is that you can attach the Ronin 4D handles to the monitor and you have the control completely remotely. From the range, DJI states up to 6 kilometers, but this would be a maximum on our complete free area. All in all, the Ronin offers a very good overall package in my eyes, but doesn't quite measure up to a real cinema camera in terms of image quality. The image of the Ronin still looks very digital to me. But have you seen you can remove the entire sensor? So far there's nothing to connect it to, but who knows what will come in the future. And until then, thanks for watching and I'm gonna see you in my very next video. Cheers!